get started again. So we'll again have a demo session for today where we'll be going through with few of the things. Few people have already joined in our previous demo, so they might already be aware of this. If you would like to stay, that's well and good. If you would like to drop off, feel free to drop off. But what we'll be discussing over here today is the agenda that I'm basically sharing over here, and I'm sure you people should be able to see my screen for now. By now, can any one of you please confirm if you are able to see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, we.
Praveen.
Yes,
Great,
you can.
great. So before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Praveen. I have over 12 years of experience in software industry, where I've worked on different tools and technology in terms of the software testing. I've worked on uh, Selenium in the past. I've worked on for Cypress. I've worked on for Playwright. Different API web automation tools and technologies using Java, Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, .NET, and so on. I have taken more than 45 batches till date from the last in the past 4.5 years of my career for the tutors. And I've also conducted more than 20 corporate training sessions, which includes like HCL, Capgemini, Cognizant, Festo, and few other United States and Canada's organizations. Over the past 4.5 years, I've trained over 5,000 students, and most of them were successful in terms of uh, their training. They have transitioned from manual testing to test automation. They have transitioned um, from a freshers to again a test automation engineer. And even after a few years of gap, they were able to grab the job opportunity. At the end, I'll share you some of the success stories from my previous batch, so that I also share it with you people over here. So that's about the introduction. Regarding the agenda that we have for today, we have set over here few agenda that you should be able to see on the screen, which we'll be going for a few of the questions that we have. What is, and everyone should be having this kind of questions, whatever the agenda that I usually take on the demo one, which is what is the benefit of joining the school. So everyone should have this kind of questions, like when you are trying to invest some kind of amount, invest some kind of time that you will be learning over there, that you'll be spending some kind of time over here, what will be the benefit of joining the course? What is the course content that will be going through over here over the period of uh, whatever the course duration will be? Who can enroll? Any prerequisite? This question should be having to everyone, I believe, that is there any prerequisite? Because we are going through with some tools and technology, which is Playwright and TypeScript. So what will be the benefit? What is the prerequisite and so on? We'll discuss over here in our session today. And again, one of the most important questions that uh, I have seen in the past, people used to ask, so that is why I've included the number four. Why should you learn it now rather than waiting for some months or a year? That means why should you learn Playwright now rather than waiting for some months or a year? That also I'll try to answer in a detailed manner. Apart from that, what will you learn after the course completion? That will basically be covered inside the benefit itself. But this will be again one of the questions used to be from few students, like what will you learn after the course completion? Where will you see yourself after the completion of course duration, course highlight, in terms of course highlight, what all the things will be going through in our course. Those things will be checking over here. And then again, why Playwright? I'm pretty sure like few of you having, you might be having this kind of question, like why Playwright? Why not other tools and technologies? So that will also see if time permits over here. And then at the end, we'll also be going for the Q&A sessions. Whatever the question answer you will be having, questions you will be having from your side, I'll try to answer however it is possible. Okay. Also, just trying to say, like, whenever and wherever you feel that you are having any kind of questions that you'd like to understand from any of the point, feel free to interrupt me in between as well. Okay. Again, before I go for the first point, just a request: whoever is whoever is new over here, please try to share your name and contact number so that we can reach back to you with some kind of documents that I'll be sharing over here in our session today, along with few other documents that you'll be getting for the access to prepare before we start our regular sessions. Okay, so let's get started with what is the benefit of joining this course. So I've written few of the benefits. It is not like the exhaustive list that I'm going through over here with this that you see on the screen, but these are few of the benefits that you will be getting uh, from this particular course. So first question is like, what is the benefit of joining this course, right? So one thing that everyone mostly be knowing, or if you do not know, then Playwright is basically existing in the market from last 4 years and 2 months, which have been incorporated in December 2020, and that have been developed by Microsoft and also being managed by Microsoft itself. Playwright is also open source, completely free of cost, available in the market. Either you use a basic part of the Playwright or you use an advanced part of Playwright. Either you use Playwright for web automation testing or API automation testing. You do not even have to pay a single amount, single rupees for using Playwright. So this is one thing, that it is completely free of cost in the market. That means open source in the market, have been developed by Microsoft and being managed by Microsoft as well. This have been introduced in December 2020. That means Playwright is existing in the market from the last 4 years and 3 months, which means whoever is working on the Playwright right now in the market have limited kind of understanding of the Playwright. That means it have not grown in such a way that the Selenium is existing in the market. Selenium is basically from the last 20 years. There are limited set of things available in terms of a Playwright, and which is again having a heavy advantage over other tools and technology. And that is where most of the organization, most of the people are moving towards Playwright nowadays. You will see like a lot of advantage when we talk about the advantage of Playwright. Will also show We'll also show you some kind of advantage of the Playwright once we start with the sessions for basically a practical sessions and so on. So you'll come to know what is benefit. But benefit of this course is one thing, that is the practical hands-on. So I specifically am working on Playwright from the last 3.5 years. So I've seen like how Playwright have grown in the market in the last 3.5 years, and also have seen like what are the changes have been introduced in Playwright. What is the things that we use in terms of the organization, inside the organization? What are the challenges that we used to have in terms of test automation for Playwright, for framework development, and for writing the scripts? So everything, considering all those kind of things, the courses will be completely practical, hands-on. Whatever we do in terms of the organization, we'll be discussing similar kind of concept over here as well. Not only in one way, there'll be a different ways, because solving a problem can have a multiple ways to solve, right? Let's say if someone asks you to write, find out someone, they'll provide you some kind of a set of numbers and they'll ask you to find out even number out of all those numbers. So finding the even number from a list of number can be achieved in different ways, right? So in terms of a test automation as well, solving a problem can be achieved in different ways. So we'll discuss all those things in our session. If one is not working, then go for others. If others is not working, then go for others, and so on. So that is what we'll be basically trying to add in terms of the test automation inside the organization. So everything will be practical, hands-on, along with the theoretical part. real-time practice and framework development. When I say like real-time practice, the similar kind of things we'll be practicing over here in our course, which we'll be going through inside the organization as well. Framework development will be completely from scratch. So in the course content itself, we'll see like we'll be discussing about a page object model framework, which we'll develop over here completely from scratch. And the framework will be developed in such a way that you can, let's say if you are the one that you are trying to uh, trying to basically write the test automation from scratch, or trying to develop the framework from scratch, you can simply copy paste the similar code over there inside the organization. Okay, so that kind of framework will be developing over here. One-on-one mentorship. When we talk about a one-on-one mentorship, this will be again one of a benefit, that let's say if you get stuck at any point of time, if like at the time of going through with the course, and even after the completion of the course, let's say if you get stuck at any point of time, you can again reach back to me for the help. Not something that I'll be writing the code, but I'll help you to understand what is the problem that you are trying to face, what could be the solution over there. Okay, one-on-one mentorship will be given during the session as well as after the session as well, whenever you feel any kind of need that you require from my side. Resume preparation will again be taken care. Like now you might be having question like what kind of resume preparation. So what happens generally is, generally nowadays I see like most of the people, they just see the job and they'll just go and apply for the job, whatever the resume that they have prepared. Generally we have to understand the job description, and depending on the job description we have to prepare our resume as well, right? So it should not be something like someone is asking for Playwright experience and then you are submitting your resume with Selenium experience. They'll never consider those kind of things. So we have to understand first job description and then prepare the resume. Depending on that, we'll see how do we prepare the resume based on the job description that we have. We'll also be supporting here for the interview preparation. Now, what is my interview preparation? So I have taken more than 200 interviews till date from different organizations, including inside my current organization as well. Okay, so I've taken more than 200 interviews. I know what people used to ask in terms of the Playwright interview, what I used to ask in terms of a Playwright interview. I've already collected all those questions and have prepared over here the complete set of interview questions, so that you can see like there are 55 questions that I have listed over here. So you can see like these are the interview questions have been developed basically from completely from scratch, which is like starting with what is Playwright, why Playwright, and so on, to going through with the different level of different experience level of people that they'll be going through with the interviews. I've given like 55 questions over there along with the answers as well. Okay, so this will again be one of a benefit to go through with the interview preparation. Along with the interview preparation, if any one of you are ready for the mock interview, I'll also conduct the mock interview to suggest you, to give you the feedback, what you have to work on, what not you have to prepare, what is your strength, what is your weakness, which point you should be considering, what you have to talk about in terms of questions and answers. Okay, and making you ready for the interviews again, depending on what kind of interviews that you are going through with, will try to support you for the questions and answers. Will try to support you what kind of things they'll be going through, what kind of questions that might ask you depending on the job descriptions, and so on. Everything will be taken care in terms of the benefit of the course. These are these are few points that I have mentioned over here. Apart from that, also there will be a lot of things that you can experience at the time of going through with our courses. Okay, so after every points, I'll pause for a minute to see if you have any questions, and then we'll again continue. So I'll just pause for a minute to see if you have any questions, and then I'll continue for the course content.
Hi, Praveen, one question here.
Yes.
You have said it was launched in December 2020, correct? So I am asking, is there any new automation tool which has been launched since, which is more robust than this?
Right. So Playwright is the one that I see from the last 4 years. Apart from that, I do not see any of the other tools and technology that have been launched since 2020, which have basically taken into the market, which have
Okay.
basically shown the interest by the organization or people. I've not seen. There have been some AI have been introduced, but those are not so much reliable right now.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Cons- Great. Considering this, I mean, there are a lot of things that are coming, but Playwright will, as it is being managed by Microsoft, so they'll introduce AI as well in terms of a Playwright going forward. It will definitely be there in the market for the next 10 to 15 years, at least, which will make an impact on the organization and the people's life in terms of test automation. Great. Any other question that you have now?
Hey Praveen, this is Mani. I have a question about the scope for a playwright. So when you say the scope for the playwright, is it only, you are referring to the offshore scope or getting the jobs in offshore? Or if someone is in on-site and they are trying to get a job at on-site, do you still mean to say that playwright is having an external scope in US or other onshore as
Oh,
well?
okay. Okay. So see, a few months ago, Playwright was huge in the market in terms of Canada and UK, and it is also growing in the market in terms of the United States. In India, it is like completely. I cannot say like 100%, but I have seen like 60% of the job market is based on Playwright nowadays. United States, Canada, and UK are growing in terms of their job market in again utilizing the Playwright. Um, because I have lot many members, lot many friends are working in different organizations in United States, Canada, and UK. So I can see like the Playwright is growing over there as well. So the job scope are much more than India nowadays. I can see in United States, Canada, and UK. Because now why I am trying to say is that because I have also conducted few of the corporate training, and from there I came to know that the Playwright is acquiring the market in US, Canada, and UK as well. I'm not talking over here regarding the Europe because I'm having limited knowledge right now. But if I talk about UK, USA, and Canada, it's acquiring the market right now. So the scope again for the Playwright will be huge in coming months. Does it answer your question, Mani?
Yeah, it answers because when I looked into LinkedIn for USA, most of the jobs I see it was posted for Cyprus. I'm not sure what is the percentage of the playwright openings are coming. That's why I asked a question. I was just looking
Right.
into the job trends. It appears that the playwright is emerging. It's growing fast, but Cyprus has catch up a lot of the places, and a lot of openings are still being posted with the Cyprus. Not even Selenium, only Cypress posting I could see last. That's why, I was just checking with you, Praveen.
Right, right. So if you see in the last 1 year of time frame, Cyprus was huge in the market. I agree with your point. Cyprus was huge in the market, but there are some disadvantages because of that. People and organization are moving towards Playwright because Cypress, for advanced users of Cypress, you have to pay for that. Okay, and that is where organization and also the people have started working on Playwright nowadays. Definitely, as you said, like Playwright is growing, and it will definitely pick up in the market in the coming months in United States, UK, and Canada as well. Great. So others, do not worry. I'll just stop after our second point, and then I'll come back to you. So I hope I have answered your question. If not, like you can
Yes,
again stop in between.
yes. Yeah. Thanks for answering that. Yeah.
Great. Okay, others, do not worry. I'll just come to you after our second point. So let's go for the course content. What are the things that we'll be covering up over here in terms of the course content? So again, I have prepared in different ways. One is that we have a course content over here, and second is that we have also scheduled like when we'll be starting with what kind of things in terms of our session. So if we talk about the complete course content, we'll be going through with the TypeScript content over here, the complete TypeScript over here, which will be starting with the introduction of TypeScript, why we'll be using a TypeScript, installation of TypeScript, what is the benefit of TypeScript over JavaScript, how do we install and configuration, compilation, and running the TypeScript, running the programs in TypeScript, different types that it has in terms of a TypeScript, inferences, explicit types, different types of functions that are available, variables, data types. Before we introduce for the functions, we'll be going for variables, data types, operators, conditional statements, and loops. Conditional statements is again if-else conditions, loops, and then we'll go for a functions. These are basically common in JavaScript and TypeScript. That is why I have not included inside the TypeScript. Over here, we'll move towards the functions, different types of functions we'll understand. Then we'll go for arrays. After that, we'll go for strings. Then we'll also try to understand what is objects, how do we create class, few of the OOPS concept in terms of a TypeScript fundamentals. After going through with basics of TypeScript, we'll move towards the Playwright things. Basics and advanced level of TypeScript, we'll move towards the Playwright, where we'll be again going through with the installation of Playwright, understanding its architecture, how does it work in general, few of the key concept which we'll be going through with the fixtures, how do we basically run the test case, what generally happens before we start running the test case, what all the things will happen in the backend, what all the things will generally appear in terms of the architecture to understand, and how do we run the test cases in terms of a Playwright. We'll go through with in the initial stage of Playwright, and then we'll go through with the locators understanding, different types of locators, different ways of creating the locators, which will include like CSS selector, XPath, and Playwright specific get by locators as well. We'll also be understanding at the time of writing the CSS selectors in terms of a locator. We'll understand how do we write the CSS syntax and all. We'll try to understand how do we basically write using what kind of properties, different types of attribute of an element. So we'll understand what is DOM, which is basically stands for document object model to write the locators. And then we'll also be going for writing more scripts and perform some kind of basics actions, like basics of Playwright, which is like clicking, typing, getting the text value, and so on. There will be different kind of basic things that we perform in general, like typing inside the input box, getting the text value, clicking on an element. This will be a basic general day-to-day life that will cover up in terms of our basic part of the Playwright, and then we'll go for understanding synchronization process. So if any one of you have already worked on any of the tools and technology in the past, or if you have worked on Selenium in the past, you might be knowing that whenever we have to interact with any of the element, generally we have to check whether the element have appeared on the page or not. That means displayed on the page or not, and whether it is interactable or not. That means whether it is enabled or not, right? So these kind of basic checks we have to do. And for that, again, we have to write few lines of code. Playwright automatically consider those kind of things for any of the interaction. That means, let's see an example over here. So for a Playwright, which I'm talking about the auto waiting concept. So if I talk about, let's say if you are trying to click on an element, generally what do is we have to wait for an element to appear on the page. You check whether the element is enabled or not, and then we have to go for clicking on an element. Generally, Playwright will automatically do those kind of things in general before performing any kind of operation on an element. So let's say an example, if you are trying to click on an element, before clicking on element, Playwright will ensure that the locator that you have written is matching exactly one element. Element is visible on the page. element is stable, and there is no animation is loading on the page right now. Element is not receiving any kind of other events. That means it is not getting obstructed by any other things. And then element is enabled. So all these 5 points that you see over here, Playwright will generally check before interacting with the element. So this is again a major advantage that we have in terms of a Playwright, which we do not have to write even a single line of code for the synchronization process. That means for waiting for an element to appear on the page. And in terms of a synchronization process, by default time that Playwright has given is 30 seconds. If any one of you have worked on Cypress, so Cypress has a by default timeout of 4 seconds only, whereas Playwright has given a 30 seconds by default synchronization process. That means it will wait for 30 seconds to check if the element is appearing on the page or not by default. We do not even have to write a single line of code. Again, that we'll see as a part of our course. And then we'll go and understand for the assertions. That means assertions means verification of the test step, verification of the test case that we have written. So one more thing, Playwright is not only a tool, Playwright is also a framework. That means we do not have to take the help of any third-party tool to work with Playwright or to create a Playwright framework or to write any kind of test cases in terms of Playwright. Now, what is meant by that? So let's say if you have worked with Selenium in the past, you might be knowing that you could have taken the help of the third-party tool, which is TestNG or JNet or BDD Cucumber to write the test cases, right? Playwright does not, Playwright basically do not need any kind of third-party tool to write any kind of test cases and assertion. It have already built-in methods and functions that it has given to work with Playwright. Writing the test cases and assertions as well will be taken care by the Playwright itself. After going through with the basic checks, we'll be going inside an advanced level where we'll dig deeper in terms of a Playwright to understand what is the configuration file that it has given. How do we control the test cases in a headless and headed mode? How do we debug? How do we deal with multiple elements, frames, shadow DOM elements, alerts, multiple windows, some of the MOS operations that we generally do in terms of the test automation, which is click, right click, mouse over, drag and drop, file upload and download, and handling the multiple windows or multiple tabs. After that, we'll move towards a more advanced level of applications in terms of Playwright, where we'll see like how do we get the data from JSON file, how do we get the data from Excel file, how do we get the data from constant classes, how do we make the framework structure, different types of reporting, how do we generate the video recordings, how do we take the screenshot, how do we automatically generate the test script. Playwright has also given one of our tools that is known as CodeGen, which basically help us in record and playback, which is similar to Selenium IDE, but it is more reliable than Selenium IDE. We'll talk about few of the, again, different tools that Playwright has given, which is known as Playwright Inspector, Playwright CodeGen, and different things in terms of a Playwright. We'll also go for one of a test case where we'll see like how do we do a visual testing. Visual testing means visualization of the pages. So sometimes what happens is like inside your organization, you have deployed some kind of things and some pixels of changes have been done on the pages, or some visual things have been impacted due to the deployment. So what do we generally do is we take the screenshot of the page before the deployment, we take the screenshot of the page after the deployment, and then we compare the pages whether both are same or not. So those kind of checks we can also do by the Playwright as well. So Playwright also supports visual testing as well, that we'll again see in terms of our test automation in terms of our courses. As I said earlier, Playwright also supports API automation as well. So few of the test cases, which will be again get, post, put, and delete method. That means 4 test cases will be going through in our session to understand how can we take the help of Playwright to automate API as well. Okay, so there we'll see like what is API, how do we use Playwright to work with API automation, and before that I'll also cover up like how do we do a manual testing of the API using Postman as well. After completion of this, we'll go for more control over the test case. That means whenever you try to write the test case, you should also be doing some kind of grouping. That means few of the test case are a part of smoke testing, few of the test case are a part of regression testing, few of the test case are a part of API testing, and so on. So how do you group the test case? How do you filter out from the different kind of group? How do you skip the test case? How do you run a single test case out of all the in terms of a test automation? How do we parameterize the test cases and so on? We'll see in our sessions. And after that, as OOPS concept will anyways be covering up in terms of our TypeScript sessions. So after that, we'll go for framework generation. So as I said earlier, that we'll be developing a page object model framework completely from scratch. The theoretical as well as practical knowledge will be given over here. The framework will be developing in such a way that you can directly utilize inside the organization as well. So we'll go through with the introduction to page object model, what are the different components that involves, how do we start development of the page object model framework, and then we'll write few of the test cases inside the framework as well, where we'll implement the page actions, base classes, different kind of actions methods, what will be the best practice, how do we basically approach for writing the test cases, and so on. We'll see in our course content. And later on, once we complete the framework, we'll see like how do we generate the different types of reporting, which can be HTML report and LUR report over here. After generation of report, we'll also be going for GitHub to understand completely from scratch. So to work with test automation, we required few of the things. One is tools. Is the tools over here? Playwright. Second is technology. What is the technology over here? TypeScript. Third is a version control. That means either you go for a GitHub or you go for a Bitbucket or you go for any other things that are available in the market. So we'll covering up over here a GitHub. And fourth that you require is some kind of CI/CD pipeline, right? So after understanding of a GitHub, we'll go and understand the CI/CD pipeline using Jenkins. That means we will also set up a CI/CD pipeline using Jenkins over here. We'll create jobs which will automatically start our test automation. We'll also see like how can we manually run the test automation inside the Jenkins and so on. After completion of the Jenkins setup over here, we will also be giving you one capstone project where you have to develop a framework from scratch, develop few of the test script inside the framework, and then you have to submit those assignments to us so that we'll validate and will provide you some kind of guidance if there will be anything that you have to improve upon. Okay, so these will be the complete course and course content over here. So that is where I was requesting you people to share your contact number and name so that we can reach and provide you these kind of documents along with the schedules as well that I have prepared over here. And not only that, I have also prepared interview questions. I have also prepared the architecture document of the Playwright, and I have also prepared the complete test automation, complete Playwright automation document, which you can utilize as a tutorial. So these kind of documents I'll also share it with you people. Okay, here as well you can understand like how do Jenkins CI/CD pipeline, how do we generate basically an LUR reporting, different kind of things that will be going through in our everything having given over here as well. Okay, so that's about basically the course content over here. I'll again pause for a minute to see if you have any kind of questions.
Hi, Praveen.
Yes,
so
Kavita.
is this course mainly based on like TypeScript, or it will be combined both TypeScript as well as JavaScript?
Right. So here, generally, once you learn TypeScript, that will also cover up the JavaScript as well. So through it, both JavaScript and TypeScript. If you go for a TypeScript, that means ultimately you are learning 100% of JavaScript. If you're learning JavaScript, then you're covering up 90% of the TypeScript part as well. So when we say, like, when we talk about TypeScript, we'll also be covering up a JavaScript over here as well.
Okay.
So Praveen, do you
Thank
mean
you.
that in
Answer
the
your question, Palash?
Yes, Praveen. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yes, Ganesh.
so Praveen, do you mean that for both the cases, I mean in the TypeScript and in the JavaScript, the syntaxes are same for both the languages, right?
Yes. Yes, the syntaxes are completely same. Only the difference is the data type over there introduced in types. But everything are same. As soon as we'll go through with the sessions, I'll let you know like what are the differences. But if I talk about the syntaxes, 100% of the syntaxes are same between JavaScript and TypeScript.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, yes, Kavita. Do you have any questions? I'm sorry, I'm unable to hear you. If someone else is able to hear her.
Yeah, hi sir. Actually, I had a doubt. Want to ask that.
Yes.
Yeah, actually wanted to know how this Playwright is compatible with Salesforce CRM. I mean, if some web application, if you want to automate using, which is where Salesforce CRM is used, so how compatible is that in that case?
Right. So one thing that I would like to say in terms of any of the domain that you take care, Playwright basically will support. Second thing, if you are comparing that, let's say if any of the other tools like Cypress or Selenium, if Selenium is able to automate any such things, Playwright will also be able to automate those things, whatever Selenium supports over here. So in terms of a CRM, as CRM kind of applications or CRM supports, either you go for Salesforce or any other things, Playwright will be helpful over there for test automation as well. Okay, in detail, if you require any specific things that you would like to understand, you can always ping me and I'll be able to help you over there.
Sure. Okay. Thank
Okay. Yes, Ravindra. Ravindra Maheshwari, I believe you are trying to ask any question.
Yeah. Just wanted one query. So, without any coding prior knowledge, is it okay to join a class? Because I don't have any coding prior knowledge. So, is there any
Right. I
prerequisite?
believe the third. Right. I believe the third point will answer your question. So you can just wait for a couple of more minutes and we'll answer that. Okay. Kavita, I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to hear you properly. So probably I'll connect with you for your question at the end, and then we'll see if you have any questions. So Kavita, I'll come back to you at the end. Yes, Mani.
Hey Praveen, yeah. So I have gone through your previous video. You talked about the API automation as well. We will be covering some basics of the API automation. When we say basics, are we just referring to the methods that is available, or what does that basic coverage is indicating here, Praveen?
Like the basic coverage will be, as you said, like few of the methods will be covering up, and we'll talk about how do we generally go for our API testing. What are the things that we require in terms of API testing to understand before we go for either manual API testing or go for the test automation. So that will be covering up the basic over there. And few of the methods, like few of the major methods, which is get, post, put, and delete method, how do we automate those things? So that will be covering up over here. As this is mainly have been developed for the web automation, so I've just included few points over there for the API.
Okay. Um, Okay, that's fine. So can we run UA and API at the same time in Playwright, or it should be a separate execution?
Should be a separate, but you can include inside one framework itself.
Inside one framework. Okay. Okay, that answers the question. Thank you.
Great, great. So again, other people, please wait for a few minutes, and then I'll come back to you. Palash and Shirisha, I'll come back to you for after a few minutes. Display that. So at the end. Uh, Meanwhile, you can raise your hand. There is nothing wrong in that. You can raise your hand. I'll come back to you people again. Okay, great. So let's go back to and again, as I requested, so feel free to drop your contact number and name so that we can reach back. Okay, now the third point: who can enroll in any prerequisite? Anyone who is willing to learn test automation, anyone who is freshers, anyone who is basically in terms of the inside the organization or on any of the previous tools and technology. Now, the only thing that uh, prerequisite over here is a basic understanding of the testing. If you have just a basic understanding of testing, it will be enough to join over here. Even if you do not have any basic understanding of the testing, I'll help you to understand the manual testing part as well. That means the testing part as well. So that will be helpful for you to understand the test automation. So in terms of a prerequisite, if I talk about, you do not require any such things to have in terms of understanding of the tools or any tools or any programming knowledge prior to joining the course. Okay. So I believe one of our friends were trying to ask a question. So that should have answered your question. I've included developers over here. Why I have included developers is nowadays, most of the organization, most of the developers are also writing unit test case using Playwright itself, which is again one of a major advantage of a Playwright, where developer writes unit test case using Playwright, testers write integration and regression test case using Playwright, which basically fills a gap where testers used to write Selenium and development team used to write some other framework using TypeScript or JavaScript. And what ultimately was happening is whatever testing team were writing, development team were not understanding anything, or whatever development team were writing, testing team were not understanding anything. And there used to be some kind of problem in terms of the test coverage, identification of test coverage. That means whether we have automated 100% for any of the functionality or not. Now, when development team have started working on unit testing using Playwright, testing team started working on a testing using Playwright, even development team will understand your code and you will understand their unit testing. So the duplication of the code will be less over there because you know what development team have written in terms of coverage, test automation coverage, and what you have written, they'll also understand and they'll also be able to check what you have already covered. So the duplication of code and the understanding gap will be filled over here using Playwright. Now the fourth question, like why should you learn it rather than some? I've answered it earlier that basically Playwright is available in the market from the last 4 years. So even the interviewer will maximum be having an experience of maximum 3.5 years or 4 years. Okay, so there are certain set of questions that they have already preferred. There are certain levels of questions that they'll be asking you in terms of interviews, as it is from the limited time, which is just from the last 4 years. So the skills are limited and demands are more in the market. When the skills are limited, demands are more, that will give you an edge over the other people in the market. Whenever you go for application, go for applying any kind of job in terms of Playwright, as there are less skill, more demand, so the play basically, clearing the interviews will be a bit easier. Clearing the interviews will be a bit easier, and as soon as you go for the courses, you have confidence level where you can basically create or develop the framework from scratch. As you go along with the confidence, the set of questions that I'll again be sharing after the course or during the courses itself will be enough to prepare for the interviews. Okay, so in the initial, Playwright is basically growing in the market, is in the initial phase. So learning in the initial phase is always an advantage. Whatever there will be changes in the future will come to know, you will come to know, and you will be implementing inside the organizations. So even in the future, that will give you an advantage. If you, let's say, if you are going to learn Playwright after a couple of years or after, let's say, 6 months of time, by that time, people will start learning. People have already grown over there, have already skilled in the market. Skill will grow, like skilled person will be growing, demand will be growing. So the competition again will be growing in the market for the job application. Currently, less skill, more demand. So competition will be very less for the interviews, right? And that is where this is a right time for everyone to learn, or whoever is in the test automation market. Either they are working on the Playwright, or they might not get in the near future to work on for the Playwright. But again, I'll suggest them to go for the Playwright course to skill up their market. There can be a chances that maybe tomorrow itself, if you have already done in the past, you can easily grab those opportunities. And that is where we have to learn Playwright right now, rather than waiting for months or something. No, again, the fifth point that we have, which is what you will be learning after the course completion. I've answered this, but after the course completion, you will become a test automation in terms of a Playwright, test automation engineer using Playwright and TypeScript along with the JavaScript. Second, you'll get a confidence where you can understand the framework, already developed framework completely and easily. You can contribute your test automation by writing the test script. Third, you'll get a confidence that you can develop the framework from scratch. Provided you also have to practice. Whatever we go through in our course content, you also have to practice. If you practice it a lot, if you, whatever the assignment that I'll be providing you, if you complete on time, if you, try to practice it or try to complete those kind of things, you'll become at least at intermediate level. When we say intermediate level, that means you will be ready to show 2 years of experience as well in terms of data. Okay, so that kind of confidence you'll get after the course completion over here. Okay, that I can guarantee, provided you also have to cooperate. That means you have to practice it out, not just by going through with the recorded session, or not just by going through listening inside the live sessions. It should be interactable. Whatever the doubt you have to ask, so that it will be, it might be a questions from the other people as well, and it can get clarification. It basically can clarify for others as well. Okay, so that kind of things I can promise over here. After the course completion, you'll be getting, provided you have to practice it out along with me. Not during the sessions, but whenever you get time, you have to practice it as well. The course duration is of 36 hours of sessions. So daily it will be of 1 hour, 1 hour session, not 1.5 hours. The daily will be 1 hour of session from Monday to Friday. Whatever the timing that we have said will be in the IST timing. 36 hours of 35 to 37 basically hours of sessions used to be but generally I have completed in the past between like 35 or 36. So I have mentioned over here 36. Okay. Now the course highlight, what will be the highlight of this particular course? What all the things we'll be covering up over here? That is what I have written, which is TypeScript, Playwright, base object model framework will be from scratch, including theoretical as well as practical implementation. Locators in deep. I basically teach in different organizations, different institute as well. So I've seen like what they use to teach in terms of the locators. They'll just write few of the locators and that's it. Here we'll go through in deeper understanding of the locators. We'll take 2 to 3 sessions to just understand the locators. How do we write the different types of locators using different ways? We'll understand the basic API testing using Postman and Playwright. How do we automate those basic API testing? We'll be going over here to understand the GitHub again from scratch, CI/CD pipeline using Jenkins. Complete documentation for the Playwright will be given. Interview preparation, resume assistance, and many more will be taken care in terms of the test course content or course highlight over here. Now, why Playwright? I have answered a few of the questions over here. Playwright versus Cypress and Playwright versus Selenium. Probably I can provide you the document. You can go through over here in the same document, whatever the document that I was trying to show you over here. You will get all the points for Cypress versus Playwright over here that I have listed, and then Selenium versus Playwright over here that I have listed. Okay, so that you can go through. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, Praveen. Are you sharing your screen by any chance?
Yes.
Because some people are not able to see. Even I am also not able to see.
Yeah, I am also
Yes,
not able to
I
see
know.
screen.
Everyone is not able to see my screen.
No, it is.
Currently it is Teams, but are you able to see now the Google Chrome?
No.
Not yet. No. Try again, Praveen.
No, Praveen.
There might be some kind of lag. Let me stop. Now?
It's not yet loading.
It looks like my internet is pretty slow. Let me know once it is visible. I am on Google Chrome right now.
It's trying to
Is
load.
it
I
visible
believe your
now?
connection is very slow. Yeah. It's not visible yet, but it's trying to load.
Probably due to the network issue. Okay. So the document which I was talking earlier, which I was trying to show you regarding the Playwright automation, that document I was talking about, where you can go through with the differences. Again, like in the next session, I can show you like what is the difference between Playwright versus Cypress and Playwright versus Selenium. Inside the document, I can share you the access so that you can go through with that as well. And right, that's what the agenda that we had set for our session, where we have covered what is the benefit of joining this course content, who can enroll, and any prerequisite. Why should we learn it rather than waiting for a few months or year? What will you learn after the course completion? Course duration, course highlight we talked about. Why Playwright? Playwright versus Cypress and Playwright versus Selenium. I'll give you the access. And the last is question and answer. I hope it might have loaded. If not, then I'll go back to you people for the question and answer, and see like if you have any kind of questions, I'll be happy to answer over here. So over to you, people. Feel free to ask any questions. I'll check why this sharing is not working over here, why it is loading still. So for that, like I'll just jump to the question and answer and see if you have any questions related to the course.
So Praveen, daily duration would be 1 hour or one and a half hour?
So the daily duration will be 1 hour. And now you might be having a question like, okay, what if you have a questions? So if there will be a lot of questions, then I'll conduct one particular session for only for the question and answer. That means not only one particular, whenever we require.
Okay.
Frequently,
And 5 days a week,
very
correct?
frequently. Sorry?
5 days a week or 6 days a week?
I'm so sorry, I did not hear you properly.
Session we will have 5 days a week or 6 days per week? Hello?
Something.
Praveen, your
I'm so
connection
sorry,
is
I'm
very
not.
slow. Yeah, maybe stop sharing. That might help.
Right, probably my internet issues is pretty bad today. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yes, Sayed. So you can go ahead with that.
So
You're
Praveen, I
trying
am
to ask
asking
some questions.
the session will be 5 days a week or 6 days a week?
5 days a week.
Okay. And we will have recording access also. We will have. Do we have?
Recorded sessions will be provided. Recording access will be provided, and that will be for the lifetime access.
Okay, Praveen. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Praveen, one question. This is Palas here. So you
Yes.
were saying like it will cover few parts of API testing as well. So I just want to know one thing, like will it cover how we are doing in our assured, like we have assertions there, right? So same way Playwright also supporting multiple types of like assertion we can do, or like it will have limited assertions we
No.
can.
Assertions you can write for multiple steps. You can write for steps. You can write for complete test cases as well. So will be supported. Multiple types of assertions will be supported, not only a single or not only limited
Okay.
things. You can
Okay.
write different types of assertions.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Any other question from you?
Downloading
Yes.
or recording.
So recorded sessions will be provided. I'm sorry, your voice was a bit breaking for me. If I understand, yes.
Shall we download? Yes.
Downloadable access, I don't think you'll be having. In the past used to have, but there were some kind of misuse. So I'm not sure like you'll be getting download access or not, but you will be having access for the lifetime so that you can watch it through over there. Probably downloadable access will not be given.
Praveen, yeah, how are you sharing those recording clips? Is it through our WhatsApp or Gmail? How can we get access to the recording session in case if we miss any of the class?
You will be getting on both email as well as on the WhatsApp channel.
Okay.
Great. Any other questions from you? Yes.
I just, sorry, this is
Hello.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
so this is Ram here. Sorry, this now 8 to 9 is the same batch, right? Like we have like
Sir,
9
I want to know.
to 8 to 9. Is that right?
Yes, Ram.
Okay. So you will be from tomorrow onwards. We will be joining 8 to 9. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
Okay.
So we'll be conducting 8 to 9 itself, where we'll be starting with the TypeScript from tomorrow.
TypeScript. Okay. And a few new colleagues here, right? Like a few of them has joined. Are they going to be within 8 to 9? They're starting up with us.
They'll be also in the part of 8 to 9 itself. Yes.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Just for the newcomers, like who joined, I just want to tell one thing. I mean, I have been attending Praveen classes so far, and I have seen the previous batch tutorials as well. It was really excellent. I think it's worth you guys joined. It was really very helpful, and I'm working and same time learning from Playwright what Praveen is teaching. It will really be, like helpful for you in terms of how you wanted to get into your career in Playwright or automation. And he is one of the excellent coach I've seen. He's telling each and every very, very clearly, functions wise, methods of coding, everything. And he gives a lot of time for explanation after the class also, which normally is very kind of him. Yeah, just as a personal note, I wanted to tell, like, I can recommend him. Praveen is very good coach.
Great, thanks a lot, Ram. So others, Ram is not from my side. Ram is not someone who has already taken the courses. He is our current batch student. He has already gone through with few of the recorded sessions. He is also one of our colleagues who have joined our sessions. I've gone through with few of the videos. That is where he is trying to say some kind of things. You will see regularly. He'll also be joining our sessions. So just wanted to clarify that he is not from my team, or he's not someone who is recommending. He has gone through few of the previous batch recorded sessions, and that is where he has also attended few of my sessions in the past. That is where he's trying to recommend. And depending on his experience, whatever he has gone through, was trying to share it with you people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Great.
Praveen,
Thanks a
tomorrow
lot,
will be
Ram.
the day first. Tomorrow will be the day first, or you have already started the session or what?
We have not started anything. Tomorrow will be our day first.
Okay.
One more question.
Praveen, just one question.
What is the general package, sir? If you are having a Playwright tool 2 years of experience, maybe value added, yeah?
So I just said, like, if you do a practice, if you do regular practices, if you perform whatever we go through in sessions, you can easily show a 2 years of experience in terms of Playwright.
Sure.
Okay, I believe like others, one of the person trying to ask, can you please repeat?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, I have like around 10 plus years of experience in, software testing and test management role. But somehow I want to get my hands on, like, really get into automation level. I have done Tosca before. But I'm not sure. I mean, I frankly, I don't feel comfortable, or what should I say? I have never experienced doing any automation before. So it makes me anxious whether I'll be able to make it or not. So do you suggest, like, at 10 years of experience, should I try my hands here? Just my
You
doubt.
You should. So see, I have taught like QA managers. We are having like 16 years of experience, 17 years of experience in the past. I've taught someone who have never gone through any tools and technology in the past, and having experience of more than 12 years. And they were able to transition from manual testing to test automation. So I suggest you to join course and see what kind of benefit you'll be getting over here. Not only that, you'll be able to transition your career, but you'll also be able to take the leading position as well by just going through with the courses. Not only by just going through the courses, by practicing as well. So you can take a command of your juniors as well to kind of things. You can teach them as well, and so on. So just an advice that you're just saying, like, the 10 plus years, should I go for this or not? You should be going for this kind of tools, which is basically growing in the market. Organization are moving towards that, and so on. So you should be at least, if not go, at least you should be trying for this particular tools to to see how it is working and how it can be helpful for your career transitions.
Right. Okay. Do you mind sharing your LinkedIn ID or profile link? I would like to just take a look.
You can. I'll share my LinkedIn profile as well.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Great. Any other question from anyone else over here? I would again request, if you have not shared your contact number and name, please do share, so that will be helpful for us to reach back to you.
So,
Yes.
Praveen, when is the course like expected to complete?
This will take like 35 or 36 hours of sessions, so should be completed by first week of May.
Okay, first week of May. Okay, thank you.
Right.
So it will be exactly, or if somebody has questions and all, like you will like go on the hours wise, like okay, 36 hours finish, or you will wait until the course is completed, right? Like, suppose like if somebody has questions.
Right. So if there will be, let's say, 5 hours of question and answer session, I'll still wait for completion of the courses. It is not strictly that 36 hours I have to complete. I'll complete the course completely, then we'll move on for the other things.
Okay, thank you. Just one, it's a general question, like nothing related with the course. Do you know anything about test completion script? Somebody, like, I got a requirement, somebody's asking test completion scripting with Playwright. I'm not sure what is that mean.
Test completion script.
Yeah, test completion scripting, and we have to know the Playwright automation. Like, what is, like, both are, I don't, like, I Google, it says test completion is a tool, like it's a different tool, or like
there is a tool, not test completion, but there is other thing's name. I don't remember exactly, but there is one tool known as test something, which I forgot the name right now, but there is another tools for that. You do not have to learn those things if you're going for Playwright.
I think there is an test complete tool is there in the
Test
market.
complete, right.
Yeah.
Right. Not test completion, test complete tools, right.
test complete tool is there, but
Right.
we have to know both Playwright and test complete. What is okay?
No, if you're going for Playwright, Playwright is enough.
Yeah, like you said, if you have test complete and Playwright experience, it seems they're saying. So it's a different tool, right?
Both are the different tools, basically.
Both are completely different tools. If
Okay.
you are going for a Playwright, I'd suggest just learn Playwright will be enough. Test complete and other things are there in the market from the long time, and it's not so famous in the market.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Praveen, as you have said that the course will be completed by first week of May, correct? So will we be interview ready by mid of April, so that at least prior to some days before the completion of course?
Yes. Yes. By third week of April, you should be ready for the interviews.
Okay, Praveen. Thanks a lot.
Great. Okay. Any other question from anyone else?
Yeah, hi Praveen, Tanushree here. So I just wanted to know that will you make any referrals, or like is it like placements will be there from your end? So what's the go on that?
Right. We'll also be providing you the jobs that are available in the market, the jobs that are available in the network, the jobs that are available in the consultancy, which they are in contact with us. So we'll also share those jobs, and we'll also refer there. Whoever is in the connection with us, there will basically share your resume. Whoever is not in connection with us, and if there are any kind of jobs, those kind of things we'll be posting in our channel as well.
Okay, thank you.
Praveen, just last one question. Actually, from the last batch, how many people are got placed? If you could specify in terms of percentage.
Right. So if you can just let me know if you're able to see my screen right now, I can show you some kind of success stories as well if you're able to see my screen.
No, Praveen.
Okay. So I'll share. I'll basically give you the proof of that in probably in the next session or in some other sessions. But from the previous batch which I have completed on 10th of February, and after that I was basically on leave. So which I have completed on 10th of February, there were 45% of the people have gotten the job uh, from inside the different organization, and 20% of them were transitioned their career inside their same organization. So if I talk about the total students, where 65% of the students out of 36 members have basically been placed already, either in the same organization or in a different organization. Few of them have gotten multiple opportunities. Few of them have basically got the job in their first interview itself. I'll show you the proof for that. I'm basically having some pretty bad internet over here today, so probably I cannot give you, but I believe that I have shared one of a recent person who have gotten a job in our channel, one of our channel. I'll give you the proof for that. But usually in every batch, 40 to 60% of the people either they basically transition their career or they got in the job inside different organizations. Provided those people have basically practiced a lot. One student is like one of a person was there who was struggling to get the job from the last 11 months, 10 to 11 months, and that was the person who have basically gotten a job inside Chennai, in Chennai, inside one of a product-based organization in his first interview of Playwright, and he was struggling to get the job from the last 10 months. It was also in previous batch itself.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, you did share
Great.
the teams. I remember.
Any other question over here from anyone else?
Yeah, I just have one question. So basically, from your experience, how many hours daily practice would require for a beginner to start off with?
Right. So for a beginner, you need like 2 hours of daily practice.
Sorry,
Already
your voice was breaking.
required 1 hour of practice.
How many, Praveen? Say
Okay,
again.
so for a beginner, you need 2 to 3 hours of practice at least to have daily. 2 to 3 hours of practice, and go with the multiple types of the practice. Like if you are trying to practice for, let's say, typing inside an input field, go for different applications, right, and see how it is working inside the different applications. So 2 to 3 hours at least required for a beginner. For an experienced person, you at least need like 1 hour of daily practice is required to complete your courses, to complete your assignment, to complete your understanding of the whatever the topics that will be going through. So these are at least I'm talking about. More than that, if you dedicate yourself for, let's say, 2 to 3 hours for the experienced person, 4 to 5 hours for the freshers, you'll definitely become at intermediate level to go for the interviews with confidence. Okay, does it answer your question, Sirisha, I believe?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
It's helpful for mobile testing also. Yeah, Playwright is helpful for mobile testing.
Mobile application testing currently Playwright does not support. It is in the development phase as per Microsoft, but that currently mobile application testing is not supported by Playwright.
Okay.
Great. So I'll just take a few more minutes because we are like past the time close to 24 minutes. I'll just take a couple of more minutes to see if you have any questions. Even after the sessions, if you have any kind of questions, feel free to ping directly to me or ping inside the group as well, and I'll be pitching to answer over there. Okay. Any other question? I'll wait for a couple of more minutes to see if you have any questions.
So, like, just like,
can I ask you something? Hello.
Yes,
sir,
please.
Sir, how you will going to conduct the practical sessions, hands-on experience?
Will be in terms of the live session itself. Whatever the practice that will be going through, whatever the topic that will be conducting over here, will be a real-time practice itself with some of the applications.
And what if somebody is facing some issues while executing practicing at his end, after class timing? In that case,
as I said, like there'll be support for all the things. Whenever you feel any kind of issues, whenever you face any kind of issues, you can directly reach to me, and I'll help you over there at any point of time.
Okay, so you will be available, sir, right?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So that's it then for our session today. If there is no major questions, then
Praveen, I just have one last question just for you. Like,
yes, please.
So if this one like interview I have, like you think if you can help me with this, like just not with the class or separate with the test complete thing?
You can just ping me, or we can have a talk on that.
Okay.
I'll separately will check what is the question that you have for that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. So that's it then. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining our session. Hope might be helpful, might have cleared your doubts.
Praveen, just last for Jenkins, right? You will deploy for CI/CD pipeline. Is it in the Microsoft, like where we will be deploying like CI/CD pipeline?
So we'll over here in a free of cost. And inside the organization, the organization provide you a credential for Jenkins. So and we deploy inside our local system itself.
Your voice is breaking.
Your voice is breaking. Could not hear.
Yeah, that is why it is right now. So regarding the Jenkins, whatever the deployment will be there, we'll do the deployment inside our local system itself. Jenkins is again free of cost, and using the free of cost version of Jenkins itself will be using over here.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Then thanks a lot, everyone, for joining. Hope it was helpful. It might have covered your questions. It might have clarified your doubts or questions. If not, if you still have any questions, feel free to directly ping me, or feel free to ping in whatever the group that you are in, and I'll be able to answer over there. Okay. Thanks a lot, everyone, and we'll see you again in the next session. Till then, take care, and thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you.